Hello everyone and welcome to another tutorial. My name is Justin Cook. I'm the CEO and founder of Hometown Social, and in today's video we're going to walk through starting your business on the Wix platform using templates, stock photos, and other tools to get your business up and online as quickly as possible. Enjoy the tutorial. I was starting to work on this website for a client when I realized that she had no assets, just the logo. She had her services, she has a running business. She just needs to get something online that she can use as a portfolio and something that shows the information of her services and only one simple call to action, which is to contact her. I realized that this fits into most of the lower budget clients that we run into on the Wix platform. So I figured I'd make a quick tutorial that shows you the tools that I use, how to resize images, where to go to get stock images, and then how to simply use the Wix Editor X and kind of laying out fonts and all the other stuff that goes along with getting a website up and running that looks sharp and works for your call to action, as well as informing your clients more about your services and showing a little bit of a portfolio of yourself. So if that seems like some of the questions or the scenario that you are in, I'd love for you to engage with me in the comments here, contact us, and I can give you some insight, some advice. The links are in the description below to the tools that I'm using, and I look forward to working with you guys at some level in the future. And with that, let's go ahead and get started. There are plenty of templates in the Wix platform. The one we're choosing today is Pet Groomer. This client is a house sitter and pet sitter. So the services kind of tie into the groomer, but I do like the layout of this template. As you can see, there are hundreds, if not thousands, of templates that fit the quick, informative, single call to action site that we're going to be making today. So I've already gone ahead and started the site here. You can see I brought it into the Wix Editor X, and it just has all of the services here, all of the sections here that are standard with the template. I haven't added any creative, I haven't changed any color schemes, and I have not added any images to the site. So we're going to go through all of that today. One of the first things that I like to do is to make sure that I have the assets that I need in the right format in order to populate the site. The area that I like to go to do that is Elementor. I'm sorry, I misspoke. Envato. I like to use Envato elements. I've got the yearly subscription there, and I have access to thousands of assets here. And I can quickly make a collection and download each one of the assets. They're licensed for me to use in marketing purposes, so I can use them on social. I can use them in any kind of graphics that I want to do, any ads or anything like that, without having to worry about copyright law. So if you look here, I have collections, and we have in the company of pets. So in the collection, I went through the stock images for pets and house sitting, and I selected about 30 assets, meaning images. And then I also went and did some icons here and grabbed some 3D imagery that we may use, we may not use, but it took me a little while to kind of populate those. The best way to go about grabbing assets for your business is to just go into Envato Elements and search all items for, in this case, right, pets or houses. And I like home. Home came up with some really good options, right? And you can look here and see that you can search photos, videos, graphics, and templates for videos. So there's plenty of assets here, and I really enjoy this tool. I've used Adobe Stock. I've used a handful of the other Shutter images, and this seems to be the best tool that I can use, especially for the price and the unlimited use of the assets and marketing material afterwards. One of the other areas that you want to check out is your color palette. You want to make sure that the colors that you have and are going to use on your website and your branding all have a relationship that makes sense. They're the same shade. And it's something that shows enough of a contrast to where you can see your titles and your text on them. So sometimes a client will come to me and have a logo, and they don't have any other colors outside of the 2 or 3 that are involved in the logo. This is a great tool here. I pay for the pro level or expert level or whatever it is, and you can just use the image picker And from this section here, you can upload an image of your logo, and it's going to pinpoint the different sections. And I'll show you how this works here from her logo. So she sent over the logo, and then you can select the colors from there and determine which ones in your logo that you want to use. And then you can take this palette and throw it in the generator. And that'll bring you over here, and you can lock in the ones that you want to use. And then if you wanted to add another 2 colors, we really like to use 5. It'll automatically populate colors there that work, or you can hit the space bar and it can start to throw other colors in here. And this is the best way for you to get your 5 standard colors that you want to use for your website and make sure that they're all in relationship to one another that makes sense. So we have a couple different palettes that we're still waiting for her to choose from. So we're not going to go too much into detail on the layout and the sections, but this is the tool that we use for that. I also like to use GoDaddy to go search for the URL and make sure that the URL that I'm looking for exists and at least get my hands on it. If I'm in between the different builders and don't know which one I'm going to choose based on the project. If I'm going to do Wix, Wix does offer a free URL with the purchase of one of their plans. So you would want to wait till that point. But if you're looking to see what's available, it's simple and easy to just go to GoDaddy, type it in, look it up. And then you're going to want to quickly, after you purchase a plan, grab it just to make sure that you don't lose it in the time that it takes for you to get your website up and running. The other tool that I really like is Jasper. Jasper AI helps me write content for sites. It allows me to quickly do descriptions based on products and services and their features. Big fan of Jasper. It is not a cure-all for copy. There's a lot of other companies out there that'll say, write all of your content with AI. Jasper is the secret ingredient. It's just plug and play and it works immediately and every time. That's not the case. Like to use Grammarly in conjunction with the Jasper AI tool. And then Phrase is the other tool that I use that I really like. And the last thing that I have for creative is Canva. We're going to be using that today, probably quite a bit, to take these images and to resize them. The best part about Canva is it's simple to use. It has some elements that are really easy to kind of take your brand to the next level. But being able to resize an image and just make sure that it works with where you're trying to use it on your website, this is the best tool there is. I have a really tough time with using Photoshop. This is a simple plug or a simple tool to upload your images and then quickly edit, format, and make sure you can size it to make sure that it fits the right way on your site. With that, that's all of our tools that we're going to use today. Other than Google, I use the Drive. I make a client folder, and then in there, the way I break it down is through the brand assets and web development folders. And then in there, I have, I upload all of the iconography. Here's some of the ones that she's determining whether she wants to use or not. And then I go into imagery and I have the stock photos live in there for the different topics, and then some of her actual images that she has there. So let's get started. So the first thing that I'm going to do here is I'm going to actually create our menu, because this is going to be a simple one-page site with a menu header at the top that's anchors and driving us down to the different sections. I like the section layout that we have here on the website. The only thing I did before this video was I titled the sections. And the way you do that is you click on the section here, you click on rename section, and then you put the title of the sections in there. So I'm going to show you how to do a menu based on anchors. On the left here, we have all of our directory icons. And you can see you can add a section, pages and menus, site design. You can add some of the apps if you have booking or other features, which we won't get into in this video at all. And you can update the information on your business. You can add media and manage some of the content if you're going to use databases and stuff. So the first thing that I like to do, like I said, is make a menu. So we're here at the pages and menus. We're going to go down to add a link. And we're going to go to section or anchor. And the first section we're going to add is services. After we click done here, you're going to see it's going to pop up as another section of the menu. It's already got the name there of the section, so we're going to leave it as services. And I'm going to create the rest here. And in the last section, I don't remember if I did. I left it as contact me. Done. Okay, now based on the order that they appear here is how they're going to appear in your menu. And if you scroll up, you can see how they appear. You're going to want to drag services, reviews, contact me. I like meet me up here. I think it's actually the services first. Great. And it looks like pet photography and then meet me. Good. Okay, so now that's there. And if you look up here, you can see in the header that they are in the right order. So we're going to start to edit some of the layout of the site and add some of the assets. But now we at least have the layout of what we're trying to do here. So when we click on the menu, we can add some space here. We're going to end up deleting. So we have column 1 and we have column 2. So it fits perfectly on the column 2 section. You can see here that it has the social bar and then the call to action. This is a great header that I like for a simple logo. And as you can see, all of the page sizing fits, meaning that we don't have too much going from full width to page width and being kind of messing up the spacing. So we want to try to keep this layout that comes in the template form, and you really don't want to veer too much from this at all. So let's replace the icon and upload her logo here. So I'm just deleting these here. We're going to go to add an element, and you can see all of the different elements that you can add will be here on the left. So we're going to add an image, upload and import, and upload images. All right, so what I strongly suggest is that you create folders to organize your media here. And the first thing, I really just like to have one as brand assets, because that's going to be things like your logo and any stock imagery that you have here. And then you can leave a section for maybe services or testimonials, something along those lines, to show more examples of your brand and to keep those in their other folders. But for here, we're going to add her logo. And you'll see here I have two versions. So one is transparent and the other one is not. And you'll see how I've named them. I like to put the size of the image. It makes it quick and easy for me to know. And also if it's transparent or not. So that way, again, it makes it quick and easy for me to know. So I'm going to add that to the page. It's going to show up here. And we're going to shrink it down and add it to the column. All right, so there it is. It lives on this strip that is in the section for header. So that means if we move the strip, we have to connect it to the header. Let's connect it to the header. You'll see it's going to pop attached to column, and there it's attached. We're going to make it a little bit bigger. There we go. So simple. And now we're going to go into the section and we're going to edit the content here. First, we're going to change the strip background. So we click and select the strip, change the background to an image, and it's going to take you to what Wix uses for all of their stock images. But like I said, I really like what I can find in Envato. You go back to site files, you'll see brand assets here. So I'm going to make another folder and we're going to call that stock imagery. Actually, we're just going to call it images. And then I'm going to make one more here and I'm going to call it iconography. I'm going to go into images. We're going to upload from my computer file. And we will look at, where is she? There it is. These are all of her images that she had. And it looks like I did not load these over. So let me make a folder here. We're going to call this. And it should load up there. Great. All right, so it's going to start loading those 18 files up, and they're going to be in the wrong folder. So I'm going to cancel this. Yes. We're going to upload the images. If it stops in time, which it didn't, you can quickly drag and drop these. So really, it's not that big of an issue. And I probably shouldn't have had that going on. I should have had this done beforehand, but I'm showing you how all of this works. So we go into images. We're going to upload media. We're going to go to those images we just created the folder for. Okay, so those are all going to get loaded into here. Some of these might be quite large. In the file sizes, you want to keep in mind that speed is essential on your page. So when you download an image from Envato, that's where Canva can really come into play, is sizing these images to make sure that they are not too heavy and not too large, and that they are pretty quick and easy. Wix also has a pretty decent editor to easily and quickly crop photos. So one of the images I have here, I'm going to want to use for the hero image. So depending on how that looks, see, some of these are going to be too large, and they are. So let's see which ones populate and if the one that I wanted works. That's the one I wanted to use. So there we go. We're going to give it just another minute here to make sure that any of the files that didn't load do load. So I have two where it's going to overview the different animals. If you can see, some of the images I did select look as if they have a house in the background. So it looks like she's got pet sitting, and she also has home sitting as well. I guess you do. All right, so let's use this here. So now we've changed the background there. Notice that it's going to change what we have on the background, which is going to impact our fonts. So let's go ahead and change the fonts here. If you notice that the image is too big or too small, that's where you'll want to throw it into Canva, and you'll want to do the sizing to make sure that that fits better on the page. All right, so editing the text is going to give us all the options that we need to change the color, the size, the different types of font. And in this case, that'll bring us to our color palettes. So you'll see here that we're going to want something that's bold, that pops. So we're going to go with this color there. So that way you can see it. And we're going to change this to so that's her tagline, or that's her company name. But the tagline that I have here is right. So you want to play with how this looks and how it lays out. So really, we're going to do this. And as you can see there, we have our tagline, we have our book now button. So what I'll do in the background, not on here, is I'm going to actually edit this image so that way there's a little bit of a color on the background, and then we can actually play with these colors here. This is going to end up being white, and the best way to do that is to throw it into Canva. So stick around, and that'll be what I lay out there. So then we have our services. So with her, she has none of these options. So she's going to change the services here to be more aligned with her services. Which I have up here in the email. Okay, so here we are. And then we have some of the images for these. Again, these are ones that I selected, and we go through a process of choosing what she thinks fits that the best. So if you want to change the image, since you can see the layout's already set up pretty well, you don't necessarily want to play with it too much. So that's where you want to at least fill the site with the content before you start formatting and playing with the images. And that's what we're doing here. I had an image of a dog walk, but we're just going to use this as the placeholder image here. So I don't have the image there, so let's see if we have it. All right, jump over to downloads. We'll add the chicken coop. All right. Okay, so now you can see we have a little overview section of the services. So now let's go over to Jasper, and we're going to write a description for the services. You see all the different options that Jasper has for you to create. These are their templates. It's a good tool to have. Definitely do the monthly, and then if you're trying to write content for your website, after you're done creating the website, you can end your monthly subscription there, and that'll be plenty to use. So here's a product description. So the product name is, let me throw this up on the other tab. Okay, so the product name is Dog Walks. So this is something simple as scheduled dog You can see the tone of voice. Informative is what I'm going to choose. And then you click generate, and it's going to generate some outputs here. So as you can tell, there is some edits that are going to need done. I'm not going to necessarily do that here in this video, but what we're going to do is we're just going to copy one that I like. And I can see here, I can replace dog walks as in the company of pets. is here to help. Scheduled potty breaks, play dates, supervised meals, and make sure fur friends getting everything they need. And then I'll tailor that to experienced staff. It'll be Mimi. So we're going to copy that. We're going to go back to our website editor. And these are subtitles. So let's say, I guess technically for the subtitles, we can just put in there what I typed into Jasper. So this is kind of the creative part that we do for our clients is we give a good layout and we try to break down the services in a way that we can have a good starting point and you can review, you can play with and edit. So I'm going to just do one more here and then we're going to get into the rest of the section. So with overnights, ensure. I'll just say, right? So that's where we would do that. That takes a little bit longer of a process to make sure that you are properly representing your services online. So that process would be something that I take my time on and do for a client in this scenario here. And then we have an about section for Wendy, which is going to transform into the about section for Mimi. So we have an image for Mimi in my email here. So we're downloading the image. We're going to then go to here. We're going to change image, brand assets, images, and here we're going to upload one for Mimi. And there you go. Now in this video, I will touch a little bit on some SEO. And I know a major question that I get is image titles and alt tags and things like that. The way that you want to approach images on your website is not to keyword stuff. You want the images to be titled something that is relevant to what's in the image, and then the description of the image to be a description of what's in the image. This is not the area where you're going to want to key stuff, pet sitting, house sitting. You can just put an image of Mimi, owner, founder of in the company of pets with a pet, right? You don't necessarily want to go crazy and try to stuff as many keywords in there. Recent updates on Google don't really appreciate that and can snuff that out pretty easily. So let's choose this image. All right, so when you double click the image here, you're going to see that it allows you to actually crop the image in place. You can zoom in and out. You can reset some of the portions and quickly and easily apply it. So this section here, we're going to want to edit this image to make it to where this section that's on the left here allows for her face to move over and we can have this box easily displayed without going over her face. So I'm going to do some editing and in the next section, to make sure that that's the case, but just so you're aware that that's how easy that is to throw that into Canva, play with the formatting, and move the image around a little bit. So then there, change it from Wendy to Mimi. And then I had her write a little bit of a bio. And here they are. Okay, so here's her whole story, and I'm going to show you what we can do with that here, because I'm going to add this and it's going to be too large, right? All of a sudden, bam, look at that. So there's way too much there. So we're going to click out, we're going to click back to undo, and we're going to leave it as I'm a paragraph, and we're going to go back to our tools that we have here, Grammarly and Jasper. So when we go back to templates, we're going to go to content summarizer, and we're going to copy paste the content, and we're going to generate a new output. And you can see why this tool isn't a cure-all, but it at least gives me the ability to look at, okay, here are the key points. I'm going to generate one more here and see if it gives me something different. And it does not. So you can downvote, and that gives you your words back, but we're going to copy this here and put it into the website, so that way we have this later when we're going to go through and write a better paragraph. Again, this is one of the services that I provide, is to take what you guys send us and turn it into something that's relevant to displaying the best version of you and your business online. Right, so this is her section for pet photography. As you can see here, this is set up for an Instagram feed. So we can link her Instagram here pretty quickly. You can see click connect business account and then tie that there, and it's going to show all of her Instagram pictures. What we're going to do is we're actually going to duplicate this section. Well, let's remove this, because right now I don't have access to her Instagram. So we would just connect the Instagram there, but I guess, we'll leave that. So in the Instagram feed will be all of her most recent images that she's uploaded. I was going to replace it with a gallery, but for the sake of the video, that's where her Instagram is going to be connected. And then I have her right now going and getting the reviews from her clients. So I have her grabbing a image from her pet, or image from the pet that she sat, or the house that she watched. So I just want one image from there. And then I want 2 to 3 sentences mentioning the service that she provided and what they thought about it. So you're going to want at least 3, 5, 7 is all good. So you want to make sure that you're reaching out to 5, 7, 10 different people who you've worked with to get testimonials for you and your business. So that's a crucial point to make there. And then you can copy and paste that text into there and put the names below and add an image. Right now we have an icon for that, but we're going to add images, and that'll be a quick and easy section. So then back to the contact me section. If you look here, you're going to see the background image is a decent image if you were doing photography, but we're going to want to change the background to a image that fits the house setting. So we'll go back to site files, brand assets, images. Now, as you can see here, we need to put an overlay on this image. And this image actually works pretty well to have the website itself do the overlay. So let's go to settings. And we can do an image opacity. Right? And then in this section, she's going to put her opening hours, which that actually works there for her to be contacted. And then this section here is going to be the form that they use to submit. So that's all there. All right. So there you can see we added some of the images. I went over a lot of the tools that we use, and I'm going to go into more detail on the tools as I do those services. But for this video, I think that shows enough of what I use, how I use it, and how you can quickly use those assets that are on those tools to create your site quickly if it's just an informative service-based site with a form. The way that you can look at this and what it's going to look like live by clicking preview. If you see here that we haven't paid for the ads to be removed, so we haven't upgraded the plan, but you can look, that's a sticky header. I would like to get rid of that sticky header. But you can see that there's already animations that are in the template, and then the services and how they show up, same thing, and same thing with the animations. So sticking to the template and making sure that you adjust the assets to work with the template rather than trying to adjust the template to work with the assets is going to save you hours. This took, 20 minutes in, maybe a little bit longer. And we were able to get some sort of a start site that had custom assets to her and her information. And, I got about another hour left before I present it to her, which is just tailoring the information more. But you can see how if you're the one driving the content and looking at the images and uploading them and knowing what you're going to say about your services in more detail, this is something that you can do. You don't need an engineering degree, and you don't need a full team of experts to guide you. That being said, if you have any questions, you need any guidance, you need any direction, there are links below, but you can fill out that Let's Connect or Discover call below, and you and I can connect. We can go through what you need. I can give you some of the information and direction, and then we can proof your site. Thanks.